今天要分享的改编故事是道听途说，希望能在学习英语的路上给你带来收获。你的每个点赞和订阅都是对我莫大的鼓励。那么，咱们开始吧。
In ancient China, a man named Mao Kong bursts into the study of his neighbor, a well-known scholar named Aiz. Aiz is surrounded by scrolls, his students quietly reading nearby. Mao Kong, who loves to be the center of attention, loves to know things others don't, can barely contain his excitement. He has news. Amazing news. Aiz. You won't believe what I just heard. Mao Kong announces, not even bothering to lower his voice. Aiz looks up from his book, his expression calm. What is it, Mao Kong? I just heard on the street, Mao Kong says, puffing out his chest, that a duck, one single duck, laid 100 eggs at once. The students look up, their eyes wide. 100 eggs? From one duck? It sounds impossible. Aiz just smiles slightly. Is that so? He asks gently. That's quite remarkable. It's true. Mao Kong insists, seeing the doubt in Aiz's eyes. I heard it from a very reliable source, right there near the market. Aiz, still calm, asks, well, if one duck laid 100 eggs, that duck must be the size of a house. Where is this miraculous duck? I would love to see it. Mao Kong hesitates. He didn't actually see the duck. He just heard about it. Well, he stammers, maybe it wasn't one duck. Maybe it was 2 ducks. 2 ducks laying 100 eggs? Aiz asks. His eyebrow raised slightly. That's still 50 eggs each. That's an awful lot, isn't it? Mao Kong feels his face get hot. He's not used to being questioned. He's used to people just accepting his stories. Fine, he says, a little louder now. Maybe it was 3 ducks. Or 4. In fact, I'm sure it was 10 ducks. Yes, 10 ducks laid 100 eggs. That's only 10 eggs each. Perfectly normal. Aiz just shakes his head, a small smile on his face. My friend, you can add ducks all day long, but it doesn't make the story true. You haven't seen these ducks. You don't know where they are. You just heard a story and you're making it bigger as you go. Mao Kong is frustrated. He wants to impress Aiz. He wants to show that he, too, has important information. So he tries again. He leans in close and lowers his voice to a whisper. Okay, forget the ducks for a moment. Let me tell you something even more incredible. Last month, a huge piece of meat fell from the sky. It was 30 yards long and 20 yards wide. This is even more absurd. The students can't help but chuckle. Aiz just looks at his friend with pity. 30 yards long and 20 yards wide? Aiz repeats. That's bigger than my entire house. Where did this giant sky meat land? We should go see it. Think of all the food it would provide for the village. Mao Kong's confidence crumbles. He hadn't thought about that. Well, I'm not exactly sure where it landed, he mumbles. AIZ presses him. You're not sure? Was it maybe 20 yards long? 10 yards long, yes. 10 yards. Mao Kong grabs onto the number, relieved. It was 10 yards long. Definitely. AIZ leans forward. Mao Kong, let me ask you a simple question. The duck that laid all those eggs. Whose duck was it? And this meat that fell from the sky? Where exactly is it? If we can see these things with our own eyes, then I will believe you. Mao Kong opens his mouth, then closes it. He looks at the floor. He looks at the students, who are all staring at him. Finally, in a very small voice, he admits, I don't know. I heard about the ducks on the road. And I heard about the meat from someone who also heard about it on the road. It's just what people are saying. AIZ nodded slowly. He turned to his students, who had been watching the whole exchange. He spoke in a clear, firm voice. This, he said, pointing gently towards Mao Kong, is a perfect example of something you must always avoid. When you hear a story on the road, and you repeat it on the road without ever checking if it's true, you are doing a disservice to yourself and to everyone who hears you. A person of integrity doesn't spread rumors. A person of wisdom questions everything. This simple encounter between two neighbors, one who loved to talk and one who valued the truth, took place over 2,000 years ago. And the lesson AIZ taught his students that day has been passed down through the ages. The Chinese idiom Dao Ting Tu Shua was born, a phrase that literally means what you hear on the road, you repeat on the road. We know it in English as hearsay. But this story isn't just an ancient lesson. It lives on, every single day, all around us. Think about your own life. How many times have you heard a juicy piece of gossip about a classmate and passed it on without a second thought? How many times have you shared a shocking story you saw online, only to find out later it was completely fake? How many times have you believed something about someone simply because you heard it from a friend? We live in a world where information travels faster than ever. News, rumors, and gossip fly through the air in an instant. We are all like Mao Kong sometimes, excited to share something new, eager to be the first to tell a friend. But with that speed comes a great responsibility. Every time you hear something surprising, something shocking, or something that sounds too good to be true, remember the duck that laid 100 eggs. Remember the giant piece of meat that fell from the sky. And most importantly, remember Mao Kong's red face when he had to admit he didn't know where any of it came from. Before you hit that share button, Before you repeat that story to your friend, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this true? Did I see it with my own eyes? Is the source reliable? Because once a rumor is let loose, once a story is repeated without proof, it can take on a life of its own. It can hurt reputations. It can spread fear. It can make us believe things that aren't real. AIZ's message to his students, spoken so long ago in a quiet study, is a message for us today. Don't be a person who just passes along noise. Be a person who seeks the signal. Be a person who values the truth. Be a person who, when they hear something on the road, has the wisdom and the integrity to stop and ask, is this really real, before they ever repeat it on the road again. The truth is always worth more than the story.
真诚感谢你的收看。如果本期内容对你有帮助，请点赞或留言告诉我，你的反馈对我非常重要。下期见。